One of the best feelings in Rocket League is when you flick the ball over your opponent and watch it soar into the net. There are so many different variations of flicks that can increase your power and your placement of the ball. In today's lesson, we're going to cover one of the most lethal high-level flicks in the game, Breezi flicks. Let's get our hands warmed up for today's lesson. For today's warm-up, I want you to work on mastering the Musty flick, as this is a variation of that mechanic. If you aren't familiar with how to perform a Musty flick, be sure to check out Coach Arrow's video on this mechanic, as it is essential for performing this variation of the mechanic. The goal for this warm-up is to get extremely consistent at performing a Musty flick, since a Breezi flick is essentially a Musty flick with extra steps. Practice Musty flicks for 15 minutes before moving on with today's lesson. A Breezi flick is a mechanic that baits the opponent into thinking your car is awkward, forcing them to challenge the ball, but instead of them getting a touch, you launch the ball over their car into the net. The reason that this mechanic is so threatening is because you give off the illusion that you've lost control of your car, since there is a brief moment where the nose of your car is facing the ground. Once you've baited the opponent into challenging, your flick will roll the ball off of your car until it reaches the nose of your car and launches upwards. Let's break down this mechanic step by step. Breezi flicks incorporate two other mechanics that we've discussed leading up to this lesson: tornado spins and Musty flicks. Let's briefly review how to do a tornado spin. For those of you who don't know, a tornado spin is when you directional air roll one way and hold the analog stick the other way. So if you're using air roll left, you need to hold air roll left and push the analog stick to the right. Or if you're using air roll right, you need to hold air roll right and push the analog stick to the left. The motion will look like this. The best approach to performing a Breezi flick is to learn the motion of your car without using the ball, and adding the ball to the equation after you get comfortable. The first step is to simply jump. Next, you want to perform a tornado spin until the nose of your car is facing down at the ground. You don't want your car completely vertical, as this will make you backflip without any forwards momentum. Make sure the nose of your car is slightly further back than the rear of your car. Use your second jump to perform a backflip once the ball is approaching the top side of your car. The ball should roll from the top rear side of your car to the top front side of your car. By the time the ball reaches the nose of your car, your nose will be pointed upwards, launching the ball forwards with more height than your opponents will expect. When adding the ball into the equation, start a dribble on one side of the field. Perform your first jump before reaching the midfield line, and then follow the previous steps to acquire the Breezi flick. This mechanic is extremely difficult to get consistent, so take some time over the next few days or weeks to develop consistency. I challenge you to get 5 successful Breezi flicks every day in free play. Now that you understand how to perform this mechanic, let's discuss when it should be used. You will quickly learn that attempting this shot is rare but lethal if you get the opportunity to perform it in-game. Since it requires a ton of space on the field, you need to start your dribble very close to your own net. The best situations for setting up this mechanic is when your opponent or opponents are going all of the way back to their corner of the field for boost. Once you've set your dribble up comfortably, you still need to perform your first jump before reaching the midfield line. The best explanation for this is because the steps for this mechanic take time to pull off, and this space also eliminates the chance that you fling the ball up above the goal instead of into the goal. Now that you've completed your drills, hop into some casual 1v1 games. For today, let's treat these 1v1 games solely as Breezi flick practice. Anytime you have the opportunity to dribble the ball and have lots of space on the field, I want you to attempt Breezi flicks. You will very frequently shoot for Breezi flicks, ultimately getting you scored on through counterattacks. However, you will build consistency with the mechanic in fear that you will give up goals for a failed attempt. Play 5 to 10 casual 1v1 games while practicing your Breezi flicks. Congratulations, you've officially learned how to perform the Breezi flick. Be sure to tune in next week as we talk about some more high-level mechanics. My name's Coach Gingy, and I'll see you all next time.